Dear students, in our last class we were discussing about classes and we have discussed few topics like what is a class, how to create an object, and we have discussed what is the meaning of a sameness of an objects, and we also discussed with how to find the equality of the objects, shallow equality and the deep equality. In the today's class we will discuss what is the embedding an object within another object. What is the meaning of an embedding basically? So we have two classes here. For example, we want to create or represent a class of a rectangle. What is a rectangle? It is having four sides, four corners. How we are going to represent the corners of the rectangle? If you want to represent the corners, then we want to create an object of a point where it is having two coordinates. So, for example, it need not to be the same. We have multiple ways to represent a rectangle. Let us see what are the different things we are going to do it. So, what information do we need to provide in order to specify a rectangle? So, in order to do this, there are few possibilities. What are those? First one is specify any two coordinates of the rectangle and its size, the width and the height. Or specify one of the corners and the size, or specify two opposite corners, or the conventional choice is to specify the upper left corner of the rectangle and the size. So, using any of these possibilities, we can able to create a rectangle. So, you can just observe whatever we did here. When we are talking about the coordinates, we require an object of type point, or when we are talking on the length, height, so that is a different components. But basically the major idea is we need to create a rectangle. So in order to do that, we are making use of or embedding another object within the object. So here is the demonstration of the creating of rectangle. How we are going to do this? Here we created a rectangle, a class of type rectangle. So, I am not writing anything here. So, all these contents are outside the class rectangle. So, we are just creating a box, invoking the class rectangle, just like how we call the function. So, box dot the width, we are assigning the attribute of the width 100, height 200, corner, again we require a point which holds two coordinates, in that the x and y are the two coordinates. This is how we are assigning the corner of the rectangle. This figure shows the state of the object. So, this is the box which we are creating, width, height and corner. We assign values for this, but for the corner it is an object of another class where it is having two coordinates. This is how we are going to create an object inside another object, or a class inside another class. It makes use of the thing. So, we need to create an object in order to access the attributes or the instances inside that class. Objects are mutable. The state of an object can be changed by making an assignment to one of its attributes. So, for example, if you want to change the size of a rectangle, how we can change it without altering its position? So, here is an example. We are changing the size without changing its position. We could modify the values of width and height. Here we have the width and the height of the rectangle which we have already created. So, now we are just adding on the values for this width and the height with the new size of the rectangle which we require. So, we are adding this and storing in the same way, variable or the object, what we can say. So, this is how we are going to alter the values of the objects in the class. That is why we call that the objects are mutable. So, now we will discuss copying. Already in the previous class we have discussed what is the different way of comparing or equality. Shallow equality and deep equality, that we have discussed in the previous class. In today's class we are discussing about how we are going to do a copying, a shallow copy and a deep copy. You might have get an idea what is the meaning of a shallow copy and a deep copy, right? So when we are copying the reference, we call that as a shallow copy. When we are copying every values of all the members one by one, that we call it as a deep copy. In order to do this, we have an inbuilt methods. We just invoke those methods and then we complete the copying technique. Or we can also simulate. We can simulate the work of a shallow copy and a deep copy as well. We'll just see how these copying will work with. So here is an example for the shallow copy. So what we are doing here, we are just importing a copy and we created a class of point and we have invoked the function method, this class. Then we are assigning the attributes 3 and 4 as the coordinates of the point which we are creating. For the object P1, we create another object P2 and then we invoke a method copy. The copy method is inside this library copy. That's why we have written copy dot copy the object P1 into the object P2 and then we are finding whether these two are equal. What the equality we are comparing here is a shallow equality. The result will be false because it just copied the content of P1 into P2. But P1 and P2 are not both same. P1 will be an object, P2 is another object it created. Shallow equality checks only the reference. We'll just check the ID of both the objects which we have created, P1 and P2. So only if these two outputs are same, only then our output will be true. Otherwise, it will be false. So these are the two IDs of P1 and P2. Since these two are different, obviously the shallow equality will be false. So how we can do the deep equality? So here is the thing, the same problem. We just added comparing every values in the or every members of the object. We are comparing is this coordinate x is equal to x, y is equal to y. So this, if this is equals, the result will be true, and if this is also equal, the result will be true, and we are having a logical operator, and if both of these are true, only then the result will be true, otherwise it will be false. So basically what we are doing is deep equality is every members in the objects are equal or not. So if we get the result true, only then we are going to get it. So here the result will be true with the deep equality, but not the same with respect to the shallow equality. So we'll just discuss the next of deep copying. Deep copy. The copy module contains a method named deep copy. This copies not only the object but also any embedded objects. This operation is called a deep copy. For example, if B2 is the object which we have created and we already have an object B1, we need to copy the content of B1 into B2. So we use a deep copy. If it isn't been embedded, we copy all the contents from B1 to B2. So now B1 and B2 are completely separate objects, but the values of B1 has been copied into B2. We'll execute a problem on this. This will just execute and then we'll learn. And in this example, it talks with two things. What is the deep copy, how it is working, and also this example includes the objects are mutable. So we are executing here. We import the library copy. We create an object or the class of rectangle and also the class of point, and we are creating an object of rectangle, and all the attributes of the rectangle has been assigned, and also we are assigning the corner value by using the object of type point. So we assign the corners of the corner values of the point to create a rectangle, and we have written a definition for modifying the values which we have already used. So already we have a rectangle and we need a change in the dimensions of the rectangle which we already created, but we are retaining in the same place. How we are doing that? This can be an example for the object is mutable. Okay, just passing that and the different dimensions of the width and the height. We're just copying that everything into a new one and then modifying that with the new dimensions of the rectangle by using the objects of the new one which we have created. Each instances of the width and the height we are upgrading with the new width and height, and here we are going to return back the one which we have created now. So if we want to print the values of this object, so if you just use a normal print method, you just get the reference where it has been created. But I want all the details of this object which has been done, then we need to print with respect to all the instances of that object, and then only we can able to print. This we have already discussed what is this %g refers to. It's basically a floating value. When we use this %g, it exactly prints the value instead of printing a decimal values. Okay, we're just printing what is the width, height, and what is the corner value. In this, you can just observe we are going to print it here within the set of small brackets, the corner values, the x coordinate and the y coordinate value. So we'll just execute this problem. These are the results. So what we did initially, we assigned the width is 100, the height is 200, we have created the corner 0 and 0. So this is what we have done for the rectangle, and we are invoking a new by passing this object which we have already created this, along with that the new width and the height. So once we invoke this function, we are using a deep copy. Copy is the name of the library. Deep copy is the method inside that library. We are copying the content of this box which we have received into the new box. So all the contents of this box are there in this new box now, and accessing the width and height of this, add this new width and height into that, and we get the new values for the width and height. What is the width we are passing here is 50, previously it was 100, so we get here the width is 150, the height was height was 200 before, now we pass the new value of 100, so we get total 300 as a new height. But the corners we are not passing anything, we are not altering anything with respect to the corners, so we get the same 0. So you can observe one more point here for all these 100.0, 200.0. We are not getting any decimal value because of this format specifier %g. So with this, this example you can use it as an example for the mutable with these statements, and this is an example for the deep copy. How we are going to use it? Just we are invoking a method inside this copy, and the shallow copy, it's just a copy method. Using this we are going to copy it. So with this, it has been completed the chapter classes and objects. In our next video, we'll discuss the next chapter of the module 4. Thank you for learning.